So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the little triangles of Toblerone in the pot, and then we'll put the cream in. Oh, I'm so excited. Ha ha! What's a classic fondue dessert I can serve with a juicy surprise inside? Betty Crocker's answer, dessert fondue dippers. I'm Melinda and I'm cooking my way through Betty Crocker's 1971 recipe card library. It is the end of Fondue Month here on the channel, and I feel like we had to wrap it up with a classic fondue, the chocolate fondue. And I found the perfect recipe to pair with some chocolate fondue. It is called Dessert Fondue Dippers. It's from Section O, fondues, of course, card number 26. And on the back of this card, there is a recipe for Brownie Cherry Surprises, where we're essentially taking a box of brownie mix and creating a dough that we're gonna wrap around maraschino cherries and then bake those. And then you'll dip that in the chocolate fondue. It'll be really great. There's also a little kind of alternate idea for brownie mint surprises. I'm gonna make those too, why not? It's our grand finale, we should go all out. And of course, Betty recommends dipping this in white fondue. So I went over to card number 21, chocolate and white fondues, and it has a recipe for both, of course. So we're gonna make a classic chocolate fondue. We couldn't leave Fondue Month without just classic straight chocolate fondue. But we're also gonna make the white fondue so we could see if our brownie surprises taste better in the white chocolate or the regular milk chocolate. So let's give them both a try. I can't wait to get started. Okay, so we're gonna make our brownie cherry surprises by taking a box of brownie mix and making kind of a dough with it. We're not making brownie batter. It's gonna be a dough, which I think is strange, but you know what? Might be a nice shortcut. Hopefully it works. So we're taking, well, that's interesting. It says the package is 15.5 ounces and it says it's 16.3 ounces. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that because I don't want to do the math involved in figuring out how to remove an ounce. And we are going to add a tablespoon of water, 1 egg, and a half a cup of chopped walnuts. And we'll just mix that thoroughly and see what happens. See if a dough forms. Seems kind of dry to me. Where'd the egg go? Where'd the water go? Do I need to mix this with my hands? Probably. Okay, I'll mix it with my hands. I guess I'll get cleaned up a bit and then we'll start making our surprises. All right, we got cleaned up. Our dough is ready. Now we're gonna work on the cherry surprises, which says to mold a scant tablespoonful of dough around each cherry. And also, because there's an alternate recipe to make mint surprises where you substitute chocolate mint flavored wafers. I didn't know what she meant by chocolate mint flavored wafers, but I did find something I think is perfect, York peppermint minis. And I think if you take 2 minis and stack them, it's about the same size as a cherry. So I think these will be like a perfect kind of equally sized thing that makes the dippers kind of a surprise. Are you gonna get a mint one or are you gonna get a cherry one? Ooh, where do I begin? Oh, I had an idea. She doesn't say this in the recipe. I'm gonna oil my hands a bit with vegetable oil so that when I'm like pinching and rolling this dough, it's a little less messy, hopefully. I don't know. So a scant tablespoonful, really that much? Similar to what we did with the cheese dippers we made earlier in Fondue Month. We're just kind of hiding the cherry inside the brownie. Pretty simple. Okay, I made a few cherries. Let's try some mint ones. Chocolate and mint is like one of my favorite combinations. I think this is gonna be good. I'm gonna take the 2 York peppermints. Do I need 2 or would 1 work? I think let's try it with 2. We're just trying to cover up. I covered it up and it's about the same size as the cherry one. All right, so we're just gonna keep rolling these out here. Once they're all ready, I'm gonna put them in the oven at 375 for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then we'll get the fondue going. Last episode, we chatted about the fondue craze sweeping mid-century America. But while chocolate fondue endures as one of the most popular ways to dip, it was actually the last to emerge. In a New York restaurant called Chalet Suisse, owner Conrad Eagley was experimenting with fondue. Inspired by Asian techniques such as hot pot, where meat was dipped in broth to cook it, he came up with fondue bourguignon, in which you would dip raw beef chunks into hot oil to cook. Knowing he was eager to innovate, the Switzerland Association reached out to Eagley about a partnership with Toblerone chocolate. Toblerone was a chocolate bar made with honey and almond nougat created in Switzerland by Theodor Tobler, and it was cleverly branded with the Swiss Alps mountains and sold in a unique triangular shape. So the Switzerland Association took to a Madison Avenue test kitchen and created this new chocolate fondue. And as Eagley wanted something not too rich to serve his diet-conscious customers, he was happy to start serving this new concoction in his restaurant. It was a pretty big hit, and when Look magazine wrote about it, Americans all over the country started dipping fruit, cakes, and cookies into chocolate fondue. All right, we're over at the stove to make the fondue, and I just want everyone to know, this recipe card does not call for a double boiler. And that's not my decision, that's Betty's decision. And we might have to live with the repercussions of her decision, okay? But I'm not gonna use a double boiler because it doesn't say to. It says in a heavy saucepan, melt chocolate in cream over low heat. So that's what we're gonna do. Now, the exciting thing is, I got a big Toblerone. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the little triangles of Toblerone in the pot, and then we'll put the cream in. Oh, I'm so excited. Ha-ha! Now, as we learned in the history segment, Toblerone is why chocolate fondue was invented. So it's not your typical type of chocolate you would buy to make fondue, but I felt I was obligated to buy Toblerone, you know? And I feel like it's gonna melt just fine. Those little nougats are gonna melt. It's gonna be great. It's already kind of half melted. It's hot in here. So I'm just breaking off these little chunks. See, it's a good thing we're melting it. If this was just Toblerone I was gonna eat as a snack, I'd be upset that it was partially melted. All right, well, that's all in. Now the recipe calls for 3/4 cup of light cream. I could not find light cream at the grocery store, so I'm using half and half, which I read is similar enough, okay? Similar enough. So we're putting that in the pot, and per Betty's instructions, we're gonna melt this chocolate over low heat. Oh, low heat, low heat, low heat. Turning it down low. Stirring until smooth. So I guess we'll just do that. Okay, the Toblerone is starting to melt, and it's looking nice and smooth. There's just a few last chocolate clumps we want to kind of get out. You can kind of see the specks of nougat. I thought the nougat might melt. Even if it doesn't, that's fine. I think that'll still be fun. Yeah, it's looking nice and smooth. Hey, it's kind of looking like chocolate fondue. The last step is that we are supposed to add, the recipe says 1 to 2 tablespoons of cherry brandy, orange flavored liqueur, or 2 teaspoons of powdered instant coffee. And we've learned on previous episodes that coffee really helps like enhance the taste of chocolate. And so I have some instant coffee. Now it says 2 teaspoons powdered instant coffee, not like I should make it coffee again, right? I'm not adding water to it to turn it into coffee. I'm literally using the granules. I hope it's the right call. I hope the granules will just like dissolve in the chocolate. So we'll see. Here goes nothing. Yeah, I can't even see them in there anymore. They're gone, baby. Okay, we're starting the process all over again, but with white chocolate. So the recipe card actually calls for white almond bark coating, which I looked it up. White almond bark coating is what you use to make almond bark, and it's basically the same as what they sell like white baking chocolate to be. It might use like palm oil instead of cocoa butter, things like that. But I think that the Ghirardelli white baking chips is kind of the same thing. I don't really know the difference. And then this time it says to use 1/3 cup of the cream. Oh boy, you're way too high, way too high. Everyone calm down. Okay, we're gonna see if this melts and go from there. Okay, the white chocolate's almost melted. There's still just a little bits of chunks here and there left. What's interesting about white chocolate is it's not really chocolate. It's just kind of sugar and fat, I guess. So it's strange. It's strange to just have a pot of that that you're stirring up. But I'm just trying to make sure the last few chunks get kind of broken down so that it can melt. I have a nice smooth texture here. Okay, this looks pretty good. So I'm gonna take the heat off, and then this time I'm going to do the orange flavored liqueur per the recipe instructions, because I think that will be a nice pairing with the white chocolate. So get that incorporated. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead back to the table and get our fondue station all set up and start dipping. It's time for some dessert fondue. I'm so excited. This is what we've all been waiting for. All Fondue Month. I was like, when are we gonna get to chocolate? Now we're here. Okay, so something happened. In the oven, all of our brownie surprises flattened, so they're more like cookies, which I'm not mad about necessarily. If they were rounder balls, you could skewer them and dip them with the fork, but I think now that they're flat cookies, I'm gonna have to just dip them with my hands, but not the end of the world. It's just funny how that happened. I don't know what I did wrong. Maybe it was because I didn't have the right ratio of like boxed brownie mix to other ingredients. Maybe it's because I oiled my hands, but like I kind of had to, the dough was so sticky. So I don't know, I'm sure they'll still taste good. How could they not? But they just look like cookies. And then I also prepared a variety of other dippers, mostly because I felt like these chocolate dippers were gonna be too intense for chocolate on chocolate. So I'll dip these in the white chocolate, and then for the regular chocolate, I have some mandarin orange slices, some strawberries, some pound cake, and some banana. I think those are all gonna be excellent dippers for the chocolate. So yeah, I'm excited to give everything a try. Let's go. Okay. I guess I'll start. Should I just sample both fondues kind of abstractly? Maybe I'll do that with some pound cake. I just want to make sure, you know, we understand the fondue. So I'm going in with my figure 8 to get some chocolate covered pound cake. That fondue is so good. And it's so complex of a flavor because it's not just like straight milk chocolate. You have the honey and almond nougat from the Toblerone, plus the hint of coffee. Very good, very good. Okay, I'm gonna do a bit of a strawberry in the white chocolate. Oh no, the white chocolate is set a bit. Well. The white chocolate is good, it's just kind of a sweet goop. Hey, I'm not mad about it, but that's what it is. Okay, let's get into these dippers. So first of all, we have a cherry dipper, but you can kind of see the cherry in the middle here. It's not too much of a surprise anymore. We're refooling, there's clearly a cherry in the middle, but it'll still be good. Okay, I'm gonna dip that in the white chocolate. This white chocolate has gotten so thick. The fondue is boiling. The heat's too high. There's nothing I can do about it. Dippers are so decadent. It's brownie mix, plus the chocolate on top. I barely got a bite into the cherry. I'm gonna pop the rest of the cherry in my mouth. I like the cherry flavor in the mix. Hot fudge sundae vibes from the whole experience. Oh yeah, yeah, you got some York peppermint patty in the middle there. Minty. Oh boy, the dippers are so rich and decadent that the fondue is kind of a hat on a hat. You don't even need the fondue because there's so much going on here. Yeah, I don't know about that. We love the fondue. Wow. Oh, it's so good. The Toblerone, excellent idea. Wherever you are out there at the Swiss Association who decided to make Toblerone chocolate fondue. Excellent call. Excellent call. These are crazy. That's incredible. All right, final thoughts for Fondue Month. We love fondue. It's so much fun. It's a lot of work, and some experiments go a little too far. As with many fads, sometimes you push the envelope too far, you know. You're looking for new innovations in fondue and you just go kind of crazy. When it's important to just stick to basics, okay? Chocolate fondue, incredible. The chocolate fondue on this card is perfect. It doesn't even say to use a Toblerone. I just decided to, but that was an excellent idea. I'm glad that I did my research and found out about the history of the Toblerone and fondue, because that was perfect flavoring for the chocolate fondue. Absolutely loved it. Loved it with all of the kind of classic dippers. White fondue, kind of weird. It's just so sweet and so sugary and not really bringing anything else to the party. So yeah, I don't know if I'd make that again. But then these dessert fondue dippers, crazy. They're so intense. They didn't bake right. It's just too much flavor for the fondue. The fondue's supposed to be the star. The dipper's supposed to be kind of a sidekick. So yeah, wild to me. I'm gonna give the chocolate fondue card a 4 out of 5. The white chocolate had to dock at a point. So it's a 4 out of 5 for this one. For the dessert fondue dippers, the brownie cherry and mint surprises, 2 out of 5. Sorry. They're just kind of weird and too intense. Anyway, back in the box. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, Betty's got a lot of ideas for brownie mix, so check out Mocha Brownie Torte next. And thanks for joining me for Fondue Month. This was so much fun. If you have any other food fads that I should try out, please let me know in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and until next time, happy homemaking.